What's up, family? Welcome back to the Stop Sinking Show, where we go from struggle to flow. The other day, I was thinking through the different states or perspectives that support the deepest levels of peace. And it led me to two roads. And at first glance, they seem like they're on opposite ends. And I initially started out thinking it was only one or the other. And as much as I would like to cling to one solution, one road that leads to peace, I found that it's about knowing when to walk down which. One side came from a thought that said, I feel most at peace when no matter how bad things are, if I can take full responsibility for what is happening to them, then I feel this eerie sense of peace that I am in control. And if I can make bad happen, I can make good happen. There's a sense of calm to owning up to your contribution to your own chaos. At the least, you can say you are not a victim of circumstance, and that accepting yourself as the villain is still an upgrade from a vacated state. So this one road being ownership, an inner locus of control in a sense, tempting in its own right to be taken to an extreme. The other road is the opposite of taking extreme ownership, which I will call arrogance. It's surrendering to how little is actually under your control. The other road that leads me to feel the most peace is to subordinate myself to the magnificence of it all. To look at all that is happening, good or bad, and say to myself, how arrogant it is of me that I know any better than he who has put me exactly where I am supposed to be. What drove this home for me was a story I heard of a man on his shamanic spirit quest who asked God, what's wrong with me? I'm such a jerk. I can't feed my family. I can't get along with my wife. I'm a terrible father. I'm such a jerk. I'm stupid. I'm this. I'm that. I'm not worthy. And the voice that responded to him said something like, how dare you insult the life that you have been given? The gift that you have been given. How dare you? How arrogant of you to question it. This reminds me to soften my internal locus of control and humble myself to the magnitude of forces around me. Now, while I struggle with assigning control to anything outside of me, there are times it can be taken to an extreme. And when you zoom out, you realize how little control you actually have. Sure, you can wake up and move your hands and your feet and use your voice and your focus towards a particular end, and it will impact the micro direction and influence the macro. But there is so much that happens that is out of our control. Things that shift the directions of our life more than we could and would choose consciously. We lose jobs we were in for a decade. Someone in our family gets sick, or you develop an illness yourself. We find ourselves in a separation. And yes, I can take ownership of some of the parts of all those things too. But the temptation to take ownership and responsibility for all of the parts of it is arrogance. In any situation, there's a part that I can't own. It might be even bigger than the part that I can own. And you can be really disturbed by that lack of control. Or you can bow to it as the opportunity that it could be. To try and take credit for or blame for what is not affected by you, not yours to hold, is the definition of arrogance. The tough part is knowing when is which. That's where I think there's something to be said for looking at different time horizons. In the grand scheme, zoomed out version of your life, forego the need for control and appreciate the beauty and the difficulty for what it is, as it is. You can generally steer your life, but you cannot control the roadblocks or the terrain. But in the micro, in the day to day, while you humble yourself to remember so much is out of your control, you can still assert yourself onto your life. You can take ownership for all that can be affected by your effort, your presence, whatever requires you and is made as your work. But watch the temptation to take responsibility for what is not yours. Other people, the outcome, the output. You can only control the offering, the input, the effort, the heart, the intention. The rest is arrogant to try and own. It's not for you. At the end of the day, it's for you to know the difference between what is yours to own and what is too much to carry. Your only job in that becomes the discernment, to not give up the opportunity to take ownership when those arise. So at the end of your life, at least you know you did all you could to affect your environment, that you didn't leave anything in the tank as far as your effort. Whatever becomes of that, though, where it takes you is not of your concern. Things may still fall apart, but at least you can say to yourself, you didn't contribute to the catastrophe. At least your hands are clean. And I don't know what else can give you more peace than that. I love you, family. Stay true always. I'll see you on the next show.